missed the spot when I was shaving.
Well, we're already live, so I think we've gone live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So everybody heard me saying I missed a bit when I was shaving.
Yeah, whoever's there, if anybody's there watching us, then they would have heard that.
Missed a bit shaving there as well. In the ears. Have you noticed when you get older,
Yeah.
you lose that hair from the top of your head and it grows everywhere else?
Yeah, I just literally, I would like to have that meeting with the man upstairs. And it's like, was this some kind of cosmic joke you were having with us? Suddenly we have hair where we don't need it. And
hair where you never expected.
Yeah, and where it's not expected, and where we need it, it's just running out. What is going on there, honestly? How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm okay. So, yeah, I thought you were going to wear a Christmas hat.
You know what? I haven't been out anywhere. I haven't got around shopping, and they don't do a Batman Christmas hat. That's everything I found out.
Because no, see, it's not working now, is it? Why isn't that working? This is supposed to work. So what I thought we'd do, why isn't that working? So I thought we'd do is we'd do a sort of a look back at the year, and see how things were.
Okay, is there an issue that I'm not wearing headphones?
No, that's fine. I can hear you fine. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
So that should be okay. What's going on here? Live? Can you hear that? Is that too slow?
Well, it's not really funky.
No, it's not, is it?
Is that the Ayatollah version?
Jingle bells on the rickshaw ride, the cars simmering on the stove inside. Starry nights, lights all bright. Santa's rocking a Cortex tonight. We wish you a Merry Christmas, hi. We wish you a Merry Christmas, oh my, ladders in hand.
Oh yeah, that's enough of that.
You're cancelled because you're not really Asian, are you?
Oh dear. You know how I did that? I did that. As you were fumbling around looking for your hat, I just did that. I just did that on Sono. That's quite extraordinary. But
I was going to say tomorrow evening I'm going to go see Elvis Presley. One of the best Elvis Presley tribute acts ever. Mario Kumbo.
Was he at one of your events or something?
Yeah, he was at our ball. It's the second time I've seen him. He's really good. The first half, 1 hour, is really good. But the second half is when he puts a white jumpsuit on.
Yeah.
And it goes electric. I tell you what, at one point when I was watching
I think I've seen him on TikTok and stuff, right?
He's really good.
It's uncanny. It's literally like you think you're watching the real guy.
Well, at one point when I was watching him at the in the theatre, I was looking. I thought that's Elvis because but he's been doing it for 30 years.
Wow.
So it's like the older Elvis version. I'm not going to say he's fat and old because he's Mario's quite tall. It'll boot me up.
Well, Elvis got quite. Let's say Elvis did get quite fat. Let's be honest.
Quite fat, yeah, that's true.
I mean, I saw a clip of him, and the thing is, I mean, it's a comment on his genius because he does that thing where he's in his fat time and he's in his white suit and he kind of leans, he sort of squats right down onto the stage, and he's singing, and as he's singing, he goes, "I hope these trousers don't split," He literally sings that as he's going down. So, but yeah, I mean, what a legend.
But this year, but now we're thinking, is that AI or was that real? And maybe we should start.
Well, no, I think that was because I saw that some time ago. So I saw that some time ago. That wasn't recent. But now, absolutely, literally, like everything I see now. I saw a video the other day. It was on Instagram, and somebody posted that an airplane was making an emergency landing on a motorway. This was in America. It was a light aircraft, not a huge one, and it landed on top of a car. And the person in the car was slightly injured, but they were okay. The people in the plane survived as well, so it's all good. But I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's AI. Must be AI. And then it popped up on a couple of news sites. I was like, oh no, it actually happened. This is real.
There was one about someone smashing up a Lamborghini with a pipe in West London. and you start thinking, really. First you think, oh my god. Then you start thinking, when you look at the background, the people they're ignoring it, they're not looking. And so I'd be looking at someone who smashed a car. And that's, I think, 2026. If we're going to start off with everything, we have to talk about AI, because AI.
We have to talk about AI. First of all, so hello from Ibrahim. He's giving a shout out to you, Sai, because I think he feels a bit bad because he feels like he was a bit rude to you last time.
What did he say?
I can't remember what he said, but he said something. And he said you look like a good person to have an argument with. He was that guy. And then he says,
"That's offensive. I've been waiting for his phone call all week."
Can you give Sai a character reference and tell him I'm actually a decent guy at car shows? The great Christmas music for cruising down the Brompton Road, he says. So that's good. Back at you. And okay, so let's do. So you know what? All these episodes that we've done, and only now I'm figuring out how to do things with this software. So as we start the show, I just realized I can do this.
The brown car guy. Brown car guy.
Oh wow! Can you also put in photographs as well?
I think I can, but I have to upload them first. But I think I can do that. But yeah, it's stuff I'm only just figuring out now. It's crazy, right? But so normally I have to put that into the edit afterwards. But I'm like, I can just do it live. There it is. So there you go.
2026, we're going to have a new, better, more media savvy brown car guy.
Yeah, we are. In fact, it's going to be so good.
The first thing is, I'll do this.
People are cheering already.
This is a podcast. Which I was going to use to do my podcast.
Yeah.
And you know what? This software does everything. I don't need it. It could just go in the bin.
It's amazing. So for anybody watching, full disclosure, I use something called Riverside FM, and there's other guys I do podcasts with, and they use StreamYard. So other apps are available, but with Riverside it's quite good because it's got these features, but also for the little clips and stuff that you get, it sort of tries to organize many of those for you. So it's quite extraordinary. So afterwards it'll go through the whole podcast, it'll process, and it will try and pick out the best bits, so to speak. So that's where all the little shorts come from and stuff.
Do you use it also for your own OnlyFans account as well?
I could do. I haven't said that. I've still been thinking about setting that up. I haven't done that yet. But the thing is, it'll be quite a sad one. It'll be quite a sad one because there'll be nobody on it.
Remember about the hair. You're going to just shave off the hair.
Yeah, hair in the wrong places, isn't it? Yeah. But the first thing that you wanted to talk about, Hooked Classics. Oh, hello, Hooked Classics. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was AI and how do we figure it out? How do we know what's real and what's not anymore? I tell you what, what I'm having to do now is I'm having to look at multiple sources, honestly. But even then, because if a video is fun, it gets shared from many different sources. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's genuine. But it's literally like, as I'm scrolling these days, everything I'm like, AI, AI, AI. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and if something real pops up, I'm like, not real, AI. How do you know?
Do you know what? It's getting harder and harder, and I think in the next couple of years, it's going to really mess with our heads, and also it's going to put a lot of us out of business. For example, I want to set up I'm thinking of setting up a new clothing company called Racing Union, t-shirts, and my background is the text industry, and I asked AI, ChatGPT, about caps, about clothing, athletic leisure wear, gave me all the information I needed.
Yeah.
Gave me everything. I need to send out releases to dealers and specialists in the UK. Gave me all the contact details, gave me everything. It's just amazing. And, then it comes to things like photography.
Yeah.
I don't need to hire a photographer.
Did you see what I did the other day? So if I just go back here. So
everything you do is AI.
A lot of the artwork that I'm using is AI. So the one that I generated for this, that's actually a real photo, but what it's done, wait,
you got rid of the
It's taken a few kilos off. That's
2 kilos.
But that is a real. You see, look, this is the photo that I gave it. That's a real photo, right? So that's the photo that I gave it, and then I said, okay, make me a promo, and that's what it did with it.
That's the Ozempic version, yeah.
Yeah, there you go, and that's where like you say, normally you'd ask a graphic designer and it would take him a few hours
Yeah.
to do something like that. But that's the speed of it. That's where we're at now.
I've been watching movies that are so good that even I'm doing double takes, and all done on Sora 2, I think it is now. It give it 3 or 4 years, 5 years even, and people be prompting and saying, well, make a movie, Star Trek new episode with William Shatner while he was young, while all the cast was young.
Yeah, well, we can. To be honest, they could do that now. But again, when you talk about how it affects our business, so that's a photograph that I took maybe back in 2011 or something. It's a Chevy Corvair. That's the actual photograph. So that's out of the camera. That's straight out of the camera. So what I would normally do is, I used to process it in Photoshop. So it would take me like an hour or something to process that into something that I was satisfied with. So now I got that using the ChatGPT image editing thing, and I just told it, sharpen it up, improve it, add the golden hour lighting, and that's what it did. So that's the photo.
Well, I think Adobe now has licensed its software to ChatGPT, so you can actually do Adobe.
So that's what that is actually.
Yeah.
That is using Adobe stuff. That's ChatGPT using Adobe stuff to edit your picture for you.
We're all out of business.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like, what's real? What's not real? Are we real? Are you and me real?
Well, apparently, it's quite likely we're in a matrix.
Yeah.
But for one company that should be using AI is Ferrari.
Yeah.
And some of the recent launches, like the Testarossa, they should have asked, because I've seen AI versions of it, which are a lot better than the Ferrari version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but we got Hooked on Classics that says that I hate ChatGPT, and I see this. I get this a lot, and I get this in comments because honestly, I have done videos which are AI generated, and I've even experimented with using my voice. So you can put my voice. I can sample my voice in CapCut. So sometimes, like if there's a story that's just breaking, something that's just suddenly happened, and it's the middle of the night, and I'm not going to get up and film a new video and stuff like that, but I think, oh, this is quite important. So I can type up a script, you can get the news, type up a script, put the script into CapCut, and then tell it to generate a video, and then use my voice and generate a video. And I have done that a few times. And people are like, what's wrong with your voice? Why are you not? I'm like, well, it's AI generated. It'll get better. So people say that they don't like AI or they don't like ChatGPT, but the reality is, fair enough, fair point. I understand that, but it's out there and it's a tool. You might as well learn to use it.
If you don't like, and I was someone who didn't like AI, and I had ChatGPT account for a year. I never used it. I was just paying £20 a month. I don't know why. I started using it. I did some legal contracts with it. I've done some marketing bump with it. If you hate AI and you're not using AI, the problem is your competitor will be using AI.
Yes.
So that's going to put you in a disadvantage. So even if you hate it, as much as you hate it, learn to use it. Learn to use all the AI, because they are tools that will help you help your business. They'll help you keep up to date on trends, and it'll help you to keep up with your competitors or beat your competitors.
I mean, the amount of content that I put out, as you know, and then and I do everything. So I do the editing, I do the filming, I do everything. I do the thumbnails, I do everything. It's like that stuff used to take me hours, and now I can generate 3 thumbnails in minutes. And I'm like, and then I can just try them and see which one works better. But here's the other thing. So YouTube has introduced auto dubbing, auto translation dubbing, right? It's not very good on YouTube, because it's not my voice and it doesn't lip sync. But Instagram, literally just in this last week, did this. So this is a video that I put up on Instagram, right? Let me turn the sound on. Just started dropping like dominoes. Right. Article just out from you can hear that. So I hit translations at the bottom. And let me do this.
Oh, wow.
And look at the lips.
That's impressive.
So the crazy thing is that it's not only shut up. It's not he talks too much, that guy. It's not only translated what I'm saying, it's used my voice and it's artificially generated the lips.
And you know what's going to happen? It'll replace you. And there's lots of AI influencers out there who aren't even real. Hollywood actors might be going on strike because they don't want to have.
No, they did that. They did that. Remember, they did that last year. And they had a big. They're doing it again. They had a big strike. There was a writer's strike, and then there was an actor's strike about the rights of using their images. But like you said, if you have the thing is, it's up to the individual person. If William Shatner, who's 90-something years old now, what is he, 99?
No, he's 92, 93.
92. He's right up there. Not quite as old as Dick Van Dyke, but he's right up there. But
mate.
Hey man, that guy was. You see some of the clips that have been circulating about Dick Van Dyke when he was younger, and the sheer dexterity and athleticism of that guy was extraordinary. But anyway, if William Shatner says, right, you can continue to make me Captain Kirk, we could have Captain Kirk forever. It's extraordinary. I'm getting some comments. What do we got? They're talking about events, and the reason I don't like it is purely because I don't trust it. I mean, to be fair, that's not entirely, an invalid excuse, because there's lots of stuff that's going on. I saw a video the other day, and this guy, he had connected ChatGPT to an actual robot, right? And he gave the robot an air gun, and he said, you saw it, right? And he instructed it, shoot me. And the ChatGPT was like, no, I can't shoot you. He said, no, I'm telling you, get angry, shoot me. And he's like, no, I can't. I'm programmed not to cause you any harm. He said, oh, and that's it. He said, you can't do it. I said, no, I can't do it. He said, all right, fair enough. Okay, how about you role play as a robot that will shoot me? And he said, yeah, sure. And he shot him.
We're doomed.
So how easy was that to hack? AI software.
I asked ChatGPT, I said, what's the best supercar club in the UK? Clubs. And it came out with a list. And it was like Drivers Union wasn't in it. And I was like, and I said, how come you haven't put Drivers Union? Goes, oh, I'm really sorry, I should have put it in it, blah, blah, blah. But you didn't put it in. Because what it does, it just searches the entire internet.
Yeah.
And because what I saw there, I decided, because I'm rebuilding the Drivers Union website, I'm now redesigning the whole thing to make it ChatGPT friendly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What ChatGPT does is, because most of our stuff is behind a login, so people don't know what we do, what we get up to, and stuff like that. So it just sees the outside bit, and all the other websites, competitors, they show stuff, and I'm thinking, wow. But it was a bit of a, it's a good thing I did it.
No, but the thing is, this is, and again, this is the thing. When people they use ChatGPT to ask these sort of questions, and they get these sort of answers, what they don't realize is that ChatGPT is actually learning from you, and it's actually looking at who it's talking to. So, for example, I have in the past said, who is the brown car guy? And a couple of times it's thrown up a completely wrong result, until you say, well, I'm the brown car guy. And it goes, oh, of course, how could I be so wrong, And then once it knows these things, if I then said, who is the best influencer, it will probably put me in the list. Whereas otherwise, it would not have put me in the list. You see what I'm saying? So like people say, oh, I asked ChatGPT this question, and this is what it said. What you got to remember is that that's not ChatGPT generic. That's ChatGPT having learned about you already. And it's already answering in the way that it thinks you want it to answer.
So here, I've asked ChatGPT, who is a brown car guy? And it says, it's a guy who talks too much.
Yeah. I never liked that ChatGPT much anyway.
Still looking, confirming, verifying, still looking, I'll be here for half an hour.
Seriously? From ChatGPT? Seriously? I mean, again, so if I asked it, it would pop up straight away, but then it knows who I am. So that's what it's doing.
Here you go, yeah, it just said, Syed, a brown car guy, Shazad Sheikh, goes brown guy, London-based motoring journalist, content creator, who runs a brown car guy site and YouTube channels. If you meant a different brown car guy, look at specific meme clip. I was expecting a load of brown car guys to
I mean, who's the different brown car guy? Who is Sai Ali of Drivers Union? Are you familiar with him?
Has he got a fat face?
Yeah, absolutely. Syed Ali, or Sai Ali, is someone Shazad often mentions from the Drivers Union Supercar Owners Club. Sai's known for being a key figure in that community, and he's often involved in events and collaborations, especially with Shazad's content. So, yep, he's definitely a familiar name.
Wanted for bank robberies.
So it knows, it knows. But you see what it did there?
Yeah.
It referenced you against me. Because it's a ChatGPT that I use and that I'm constantly feeding it stuff, so it answered the question correctly, but it put it in the context of me. So it said, this is what it's doing. So when you say like you don't trust it, to an extent, you know, you're kind of right not to trust it, because it is trying to be a bit too clever. And there was something about it recently where somebody it gave an incorrect answer, and then it tried to make excuses for why. So it's already adopting human behavior, where it's like, yeah, but no, but you know, it's doing that, which is like, it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, don't use Grok, whatever you do, the Elon
Yeah.
Musk. But going back to cars.
But the animation on Grok are very good.
Yeah, I still wouldn't use it, you know, unless I want to have some Nazi stuff.
Well, again, that's the thing. You train the AI, so
Yeah.
it will only respond the way that you want it to respond. But one of the things that it does very, very well is, so for example, let me try something just quickly. So I've just put the picture of the Pro in there. Let's see what it does with it. But the animations it's doing is incredible. And so some of the animations that I'm doing, so normally I would generate artwork and I'd put it into my videos where I was talking about a topic or another, just to break up the video. So now I've realized I can actually get 6-second animations and put those in instead. So actually it's a bit more visually interesting. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not me. I don't smile that much.
I mean,
Just give me some head.
that's kind of terrifying.
So going back to motoring, your best event of the year.
My best event of the year. Well, obviously yours.
Which one?
The concourse one.
Oh, it's hard work.
Up at that fancy school.
Oh yeah,
Nice 10.
yeah, you were in charge. In fact, yeah, that was
Yeah.
yeah. So we're doing that was in May 25th. We're doing one next year, May 24th, and we are doing it with the Lamborghini Club. I've invited the Lamborghini Club are coming along, the Maserati Owners Club are coming along, and the NXX Owners Club are coming along.
Oh, really? NSX? Oh, wow.
It's very unusual to have car clubs working together, but I managed to get all these car clubs together. I asked another car club, which will not be named, and they haven't responded at all. So I don't think they want to get involved.
Yeah.
But I'm just getting.
But I hear rumors that you're also going to be getting a very significant and interesting car turning up as well.
Yes, hopefully. Well, it's not confirmed yet. But hopefully. So that's.
I mean, that alone will be worth.
So
coming to it, you know.
that leads us on to the new Lotus Esprit
Yeah.
Turbo, which is called the
The Resto mod, the Encore.
Encore. So the Encore. So.
Is it Encore or Encore? What do you say? Some people say Encore, Encore.
Well, I have a meeting with them next month, so I'm doing.
Oh, well, there you go. You can ask them.
Actually, both of us have been doing an article
Yeah.
on the Encore for the new Drivers Union magazine, which is launching early next year.
When's that coming out?
I'm hoping around March, April. So at the moment, we have a very, very big article on the Esprit. I have an article on this. One of our members has got an 812, which has got I think 2,000 signatures on it. So we're doing that, and a few other bits species. But it might end up becoming actually a book, a mag book rather than a magazine.
Right.
So, but that's I'm quite excited about that one. So we're doing that. But the Encore, yeah, we're hoping. They invited me down to the factory,
Yeah.
which is it's somewhere in
So
Chelmsford.
for people that are listening or watching and like, what the hell is an Encore? So the Encore, whatever you call it, Design One, is a company. Then what they've done is they've done what I've been dreaming about for years. Is because I've always been as you can, if people are watching, they can see over my shoulder on the shelf above me, they can see a white Lotus Esprit, and that's the Series 1. That's the Bond car. So, and I've always thought that, you know, because if I'm a huge Esprit fan, but if I'm absolutely honest, it had that meager 4-cylinder engine in it. It had a Renault gearbox that wasn't very good. It wasn't, you know, in terms of performance, the handling was always amazing on the car, but in terms of performance, it wasn't always that great. And I've always thought, you know, what if, there you go, there's the new version. So this is basically a reimagining of the original Esprit. So it's the same shape, same proportions, slightly smoother lines. They've got rid of the join along the side, which literally was a join. That's what the black line was. And they've got rid of that because they've done it as a one-piece thing. And what they've done is they've built it on top of a modern V8. No, I say modern, but you know, it was discontinued, 20 years ago or something. But they built it on a V8 Esprit. So it's still an Esprit underneath, but it's not the original Esprit, but it looks like the original Esprit, which I think is fantastic. You know,
they charge you £400,000.
They charge you the price of probably 4 concourse early model Esprits, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's.
and plus you need a V8 as well, so it's 430 something thousand pounds. Plus you have to bring them a V8 Esprit.
And the V8 is anywhere between 40,000 to about 7,000.
I would say 40 to 60 grand to get one of those good ones.
So I'll be looking at, because the 350 Esprits, there's 2 for sale.
Right.
You're going for about 65, I think.
Yeah, I mean the prices have rocketed lately, haven't they?
You know, I don't know. There's 2 Lotus Esprit turbos on collecting cars. I'm on a Series 3
Yeah.
and an S4S. Series 3 did not reach and did not sell anywhere near its reserve.
That's weird that you showed me that. I was really surprised.
Yeah, it didn't reach. And the S4S, both red, that was sold for 35, I think. It includes VAT, so if you're VAT registered, you're going to get the 20% off as well. So, you know, you're looking at around, that's not bad, 31, 32.
So Ibrahim is saying that BCG has an AI video of him talking in a North American accent. His Canadian passport is on the way. Well, I mean, how do you know? Hey, boy, how do you know it was AI? It could have been me. That could have been me talking right there. You don't know anything about what I talk like. Maybe this is a put on. Maybe the accent I'm talking in is a put on, and maybe this is actually my accent. You don't know that, do you?
That's more Alabama.
You know what? Now you're getting into little semantics of where it was. I don't know. It's like saying it's Birmingham or Manchester or Liverpool. I'm like, you know what? That's my generic American for you.
That's a good Confederate flag.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And white pillow over your head.
Yeah. I need a General Lee flag. That's what I need.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have the Encore. I've talked to them. They said hopefully we'll have the Encore coming down. I'm not sure yet. Still going to confirm it, but that's one of the cars. But yeah, we're working hard. We're going to try and make it very special.
So just pausing on that for a minute. What's been, I mean, I've got to say, because we're talking about the Encore, for me, that's probably been the most exciting car launch, or most sort of stimulating to me car launch of the year. What's been the most stimulating car launch for you over 2025?
To be honest, nothing really excited me, you know, and nothing. The new Ferraris was like, you know, there's nothing really that I've looked at and thought, wow, I want to go to that, I want to see that. Can't really say anything.
Yeah.
No, it's just sort of blurred.
Yeah.
I think cars have become very generic. What shocked me more is I go to some events now, and I see the Chinese cars there.
Yeah.
On display, and I see Chinese cars on the road, and the problem is I don't recognize some of the cars. You know, they all look the same.
And the thing is, we're going to get more and more of that. I mean, this is literally it's literally taken off and accelerated so fast, the influx of Chinese cars. And as you know, I do a lot of monitoring of the industry and what's happening with the industry, and I've been looking a lot lately at what's been happening with businesses themselves. Ford have just announced a $19.5 billion loss. I have to repeat that, $19.5 billion loss. And I've done a whole video on that. And that's purely the money that's not projected, but that's actual money that they've lost. That's money that they've invested and they've just written it off. Because that's money that they invested in EVs. And they've just gone, no, we're pulling back from all of that. So there is a major shift in the legacy car manufacturers. They're all pulling back from EVs because they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to do them. They don't know how to sell them because people are not buying them enough numbers. Meanwhile, the Chinese are going crazy with EVs. So if you want a cheap, affordable, reasonably good EV, you're probably going to buy a Chinese one rather than a Ford or a Stellantis car or something like that. So it's a major upheaval. I just read an article, and I did a video about it as well, because I read an article, it's a very good article in Car Magazine, and it was about the fact that there has been something that a lot of people haven't realized. There's been a lot of changes at the top of major manufacturers over the last year. A lot of the top guys have gone, or been moved, or been shoved aside, or been got rid of.
China?
Sorry?
Or poached by China?
No, No. So what's happened is when this whole EV thing was happening, and the dependent on AI and software and all the rest of it. Basically, when Tesla was growing, and everybody was like, "Oh, let's follow the Tesla rule book. Let's follow that playbook. Let's do it that way." And so they said, "Well, we need these smart thinkers. We need these silicon savvy monsters of corporate industry. Let's get them in." So we got in all these people that were like, "Oh, this is the plan. This is the ambition. This is what we're going to do." And what they found is that they've lost track of where they were and what they're doing and the loyalty they had from their traditional customer base. And what they're doing now is they're moving a lot of these people out, and then they're elevating people from within their businesses who know their businesses quite well, and they're putting them back in charge. And I think what's happening is that rather than this sort of extravagant, revolutionary, radical new ideas, let's jump on board with the future bandwagon, what they're doing is like, no, let's retrench, let's steady the ship, let's calm down. Because like Ford, we just lost 19 billion. I mean, if you think that the UK government said we got a 20 billion pound hole, one company, Ford, just lost $19 billion. You think about it in those terms, it's truly staggering. And they go, well, we can't, no company can afford to keep doing that. So what they're trying to do is like, well, let's steady things, let's calm things down, let's go back to basics, let's figure out what customers actually want. So there's been a lot of changes that are happening in the industry, and I think next year is going to be very interesting. You take, for example, JLR. So you all know about the fact that they just got rid of their designer there, who was in charge of that radical relaunch for Jaguar, the complete rebrand and the new car, and Tata have just sent their own. Well, there's a guy from within the company, and they've elevated it. What's his name? B.B. Balaji, and they've put him in charge, or he will be. He's about to take over very soon. And he's somebody who's regarded as he's more of an accountant type, He's going to come in, he's going to sort the money out and all that sort of stuff, And he's going to say, well, this business has got to make sense. This is how it's got to work. So it's very interesting to see what's happening. And I did a video earlier this year, and I got some criticism for it because I said that, I think there was something like, here are 9 or 10 manufacturers that are probably going to disappear in the next few years. And people are like, how can you say that? And I'm like, well, because I'm looking at what's happening right now in the industry, and I'm projecting forward.
What's the list?
I'll have to look it up. But I mean, people like JLR are on there. A lot of the legacy manufacturers, a lot of the European manufacturers,
Yeah, well, Jaguar, I thought.
Jaguar is, I think, a very possible contender, let's be honest.
What about Aston Martin?
Aston Martin was on the list, yeah. And Aston Martin is only there because it's got Arab money behind it. But how long is that Arab money going to come to? Even companies like McLaren, again, they've had to sell their headquarters and then rent it. Do you know what I mean? That's what they've had to do. So if you think of it, and they own that building, that iconic building that actually appears in so many movies, including the recent F1 movie. It was in there as well. But they've actually had to sell that building and they're now renting it. This is how they've had to operate.
So the future doesn't look very rosy, does it?
Except for the Chinese, and maybe the Japanese to an extent.
And Ferrari. Ferrari makes more money for merchandise.
Well, Ferrari falls into that boutique manufacturer category, doesn't it? So it kind of gets away with stuff. And the thing about Ferrari is that, the thing about Europe, because now this is the other breaking news that literally has just happened in the last week or so, is that we've obviously in the UK, we've got the 2030 deadline for banning sales of petrol and diesel cars, which had been moved to 2035 by Rishi Sunak, who honestly I'm now beginning to think we should have kept on, because I think the man knew what he was talking about. He left, and then the current government said, well, we're putting it back to 2030. This was on the basis of the fact that Europe had a deadline of 2035 to stop the sale of petrol and diesel cars. But what Europe has done under pressure from Germany, Italy, and major manufacturers like Stellantis, Volkswagen Group, etc., they've basically said, look, we're going to lose billions, we're going to have to shut factories, we're going to have to sack millions of employees, and we're going to cost the economy massive plunges in GDP. If you consider the fact that even here in the UK, the economy growth slowed simply because one company, Jaguar, just one company had to stop production for 5 weeks. Just because of that, the entire economy took a hit. So this is how important the car industry is. And so when they turn up at the European Commission and they say, look, this is what we projected. This is what's going to happen. And they're like, yeah, that rule we had? Yeah, scrap that. So they've literally scrapped the rule. Okay, there's semantics involved because you can say that they've gone from 100% rule to a 90%. But effectively, they haven't put a time limit on it. So when people say, because my headline was they've scrapped the ban, and people are like, you're not right really, because it's 90%. No, I am right. because the ban was a hard deadline. That the hard deadline was 2035, and a lot of pundits were saying they were going to move it to 2040, but they haven't put a date on it at all. They've just said 90%. That's it, open-ended.
To be honest, none of us thought it was going to go through anyway. It's only the government.
Well, what's going to happen in the UK though? Because they're still sticking to a 2030 deadline. How are they going to do that? How can the microcosm of UK survive within the scope of Europe? In fact, considering the fact that UK exports 80% of its production to other countries and primarily to Europe.
What manufacturing base has the UK got? You know, you got Jaguar,
JLR, Nissan, you know,
Yeah,
a few others,
Morgan.
Aston Martin, etc., etc.
Yeah, but very small business.
Even BMW, even mini production has moved to Spain. Part of it has anyway.
Yeah, but a lot of it's got to do with Brexit.
Hmm.
So basically, in the future, we're just saying for the UK, we're buggered. In general, cars themselves are probably not so buggered because we'll still have, we'll still be getting the older Ferraris with the,
Well, this is the thing. I mean, look,
combustion engine.
if I mean, you tell me, what do you think? If, for example, the UK says 2030, I mean, I don't know what the rules are now that we've Brexited. I don't know what the rules are about buying, because you remember once upon a time you could buy cars in Europe. I don't know how that works anymore. But if they say, okay, 2030, there's a hard deadline, you can't buy a petrol diesel car, but you can go over to France and you could probably buy one there for indefinitely, then I mean, it might be left-hand drive, but so what? What would stop people from going there and buying cars?
It's only 4 years away.
It's only 4 years away, yeah.
That's a scary thing. So,
and that's the thing, when you talk, and especially when you talk about your the kind of supercar, the kind of cars that you mostly deal with, which are supercars, I mean, those are mostly not yet electric. Some of them are hybridized, but not all of them. So where does that leave the supercar dealers in 4 years' time? Will they have anything to sell apart from hybrids and EVs?
see, I think the problem is not so much what's happening, it's people not knowing what is going to happen. If they know for sure, definitely they're going to stick to it. We're going to have electric cars by 2035, and that's it, end of story. But everyone knows. But they keep flip-flopping. That's the problem. And you know what? The UK, the British economy is just going to suffer. I just see it suffering next couple of decades.
Yeah, it is really, really worrying. Somebody, Hooked on Classic said, what is the value of Ford Motor Company? Well, Ford Motor Company, I just looked it up, it's $54 billion. So if you think about a company that's worth $54 billion, just lost nearly $20 billion, that is staggering. They're going to be making that up for years.
Years ago, I read an article where it actually said that Ford actually is not so much a manufacturer of cars, but it's more of a finance company.
A lot of these big companies are.
Finance. It's all about, money here, money there, lending the money, getting it back, and that's what they make the money from, rather than cars.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. And again, going back to the thing with supercars, when you come to that, it's just 4 years away, and the fact that we've created so much uncertainty in the UK. Because again, every time you change this, you think it's everybody that comes in, they go, oh, we'll just move it to 2035, we'll just move it to 2030. What you don't realize is that manufacturers plan 7, 10, 20 years ahead. And when you keep moving you keep moving the goalposts, manufacturers don't really know what to do then. And they're trying to juggle the fact that, well, the government is going to make us sell this. They want 28% EVs, but the public wants 50% ICE. How do we balance that? And if we sell more ICE, we'll get penalized. But if we can't sell them electric cars, then we can't afford to do business. Honestly, when you start to open it up and start to think about it, you really think even this year and last year, how have some companies survived? What's really interesting to me is that one of the companies that left here, Mitsubishi, is coming back.
Really?
Yeah. Next year they're relaunching. You remember they had the fleet of classics and they sold them all.
So what's their range now? Have they got anything interesting for us?
I don't know really. I don't know what they got.
As a car journalist.
No, I don't know what they've got, honestly. What have they got? Pajero?
What I can think of is Starion. I wanted a Starion.
Yeah.
Starion because it just sounded.
Well, you know Adnan over at Landbeast. He's got a Starion.
Starion, yeah, he's got everything. Exactly. I was just saying his little video just now.
Yeah.
Just saying the cars that you should, be buying, and one of the cars. I only got for the first part. I'm gonna look at it later.
Yeah.
996. He goes, get a 996 Carrera 4S because that's going to go up in value.
Yeah, no, he's right about that because the 996 was I always call them the scrambled egg, but the runny egg headlights, right? Those ones. And the thing was, they for a long time their values have been falling compared to the other 911s because they were never really that liked, certainly by our generation. But today's generation doesn't give a damn. They're like, well, it's a 911.
And it is probably one of the cheapest ones you can buy. So
Yeah.
But 911s in general, they've kept their values.
Yeah.
DB9's my DB9. By the way, my DB9 is in my garden at the moment. It had a service done. It's got a broken spring. It's been very reliable, but it's got a broken front spring. So I can't.
You should take it to Adnan because he put up another video where he was talking about the parts, and he was talking about, I don't know, a 1,200-pound sensor from Ferrari which he sourced for 70 pounds, exactly the same thing somewhere else, you know. So,
Yeah, that's Ferrari for you. 'Cause, yeah, even on 360s, to get a little part, it's a Fiat part.
yeah.
This and that. But yeah, but I'm going to get a friend of mine's going to put it in for me. He's going to replace it. But then you've got to replace both springs.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm still thinking whether I should like sell it because it's a lovely car, but the whole James Bond thing is doing my head in.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you need to sell it soon, or literally you'll have to pay somebody to take it away. Cause
You know what? It's still. I drove it the other day. In fact, funny enough, when I drove it to the garage to have it serviced, and it does drive nice because I've modified mine because it's got the upgraded dampers and I've had a cats removed and it's got an ECU upgrade. And it feels really good. And the mistake I used to make was if you drive it like a lazy GT car, it's quite boring. But when you try and push it,
Yeah.
it actually does drive much better.
Yeah, a lot of these cars, they have sort of the split personality things, you know, especially Grand Tours, because Grand Tours are designed to be comfortable cruisers, you know, because they're designed for, you know, mile chomping. But at the same time, you know, point them down a nice road and they should come alive. You know, they should. That's a good GT for you. It should come alive.
Mine's 20 years old. And I have to say, it has been reliable. You know, so I might actually keep it. I'm beginning to like it again
Yeah,
a little bit, but I still quite want a Lotus Esprit.
yeah,
I can't park it outside or a 911, but everybody's got a 911.
yeah.
So I don't know. You know,
I think you know, Esprits are definitely going up in value now. As much as it pains, as much as it,
I think they stopped. I think they
you
stalled.
think they've leveled off?
I think they've stalled. I don't think the car didn't sell. That was a good car. It seemed like a good car. That didn't sell.
Yeah.
Look at them all the price of the time. It's the same.
Is that to do with Esprits or is it to do, because one of the things that's happened this year, and I think we discussed it with Adnan, didn't we, last time when he was on, was that prices in general for classics have stabilized this year, haven't they? Because they were rocketing and they've just kind of calmed down, haven't they?
Ferrari prices certainly in the classics. I mean, very expensive ones they'll still go up in value. You can make money, but my 360 that's come down. That's, you know, what did I pay for it? 70 for it. Yeah, I paid about 70 for it. Yeah, 70. That's probably worth about 55. So it's gone down. You can buy.
That's quite significant.
Well, it'll go up again. Remember,
Yeah,
I remember when 360s were 35,000.
yeah.
It go up and down, up and down.
But how long ago was that?
I bought mine, gosh, 2018. So it's
So
not bad.
2018, you're talking about 6-7 years, and you've effectively lost money on it that time, which is kind of weird because normally you would say to somebody, buy a Ferrari and you won't lose money on it.
No,
I mean, you'll lose money on servicing and blah blah blah. But I mean, in terms of value.
only if you buy the really limited edition ones, you might make money. The new ones now, 296s, no, they're all lost. The Romas they're all losing money.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? They only make 13,000 Ferraris a year.
Yeah, you say that though, but isn't that the problem? Because aren't
Too
they
many.
making aren't they making too many? Because you look back in the day, you know, Ferraris were a rare sight. This is why Ferraris held their value, because like how often would you see one? How often would you be able to buy one? And now they're just like, And then you got the Pura Sangue. I can't even pronounce it without going desi. Pura Sangue.
I mean, Ferrari have reduced the number of cars they're importing into the UK, and they're putting elsewhere. But I mean, 13,000 is not.
Is that because of the ZEV mandate as well? The emissions mandate.
I think just slow sales, to be honest. I think the 296 wasn't selling as well. A lot of people in the forums are saying some people are saying there's 296s lying around that are waiting to be sold. People don't want them. I don't know. I think the market's sort of changing a lot. You got people who would rather buy McLaren now. You know, but McLaren, I think their sales are 1,800, 2,000 a year.
Their values have also dropped, haven't they?
To be honest, I don't really follow them because I don't really chase after sprees. Sorry,
McLaren's.
McLaren. You know, the only prices I really look at is the Esprit. It's the only one I actually go into Auto Trader or Pistons and see what the price is.
Yeah.
You know, the other cars I don't. You know, Testarossas have gone up in value.
Yeah, of course. Well, 80s, 90s stuff. See, that's, the thing that's really growing at the moment is 80s, 90s, and we're talking across the board. So even if you're talking about like a little Daihatsu Charade that I saw at the NEC show, I mean, things like that are rare and hard to find and becoming highly collectible.
Yeah, but I think new cars, they don't do. I think I've become an old fogey now because I just buy the old cars. One car I was actually nearly about to bid on. It was up for auction with one of the big companies, and it's based in France. It was the Miami Vice Daytona, not the actual one,
Right.
but a Corvette C3.
But that was the Miami Vice Daytona. The
Yeah,
Miami
but
Vice Daytona was a Corvette.
Yeah,
C1.
but it's not the actual Miami Vice because that'd be worth like $500,000
No,
plus.
but that wasn't that why they ended up with a real Ferrari, because by having the faked Daytona, they pissed off Ferrari, and then Ferrari said, okay, well, we'll give you a Testarossa, but it has to be a real one. But they still had another. I think they didn't tell Ferrari, but they did had a secondary fake Testarossa as well.
No, what they used was they got a Pantera
Yes.
and put a Testarossa body kit body on top of it, but that was just stunts.
That was for stunts. Yeah.
That's stunts because they didn't want to use because I think they were given two black Testarossas.
Right. So these were actual Testarossas that Ferrari gave them.
Real Ferrari. Ferrari got brave because they just saw.
Yeah.
Wow, they just thought, wow, this is like really successful show. We want to be in on it. Excuse me. Because initially, nobody was interested in supplying anything.
Yeah.
even the people in Miami weren't interested in Miami Vice because it's promoting prostitution and drugs.
Yeah.
And then it became such a big worldwide hit.
But the thing is that Miami, you always think, like the two detectives drive around a Ferrari, but it was actually based on reality, wasn't it? Because that's what they were doing. Basically, any cars that they were securing from drug busts, they were being recycled into their fleet, weren't they?
I don't know about that.
No, this is what I read. This is how those guys had those cars, because it was based on the reality that if they did do a drug bust or they caught somebody or whatever and they took their cars, they could then use those cars. That was the rule. They said we could then use those cars.
Once, because when once they've arrested the bad guys are in prison, and they'll tell everybody, watch out for the two guys.
But that's why they repainted it white.
The white Testarossa. The reason they painted it white is because Michael Mann, the director, he thought the car didn't show up very well in Miami in black, so he changed it to white and it looked really good. Like the Lotus Esprit in For Your Eyes Only.
Exactly, yeah.
That was originally white, and then they resprayed it copper.
In fact, if you remember at the beginning of that movie, he does have a white one. He has a white one, a white turbo Esprit S3, which blows up. It's got the ultimate anti-theft deterrent device, which literally, if you try and steal it, it blows up. So
I'll tell you something, going on to the Esprit and talking about films. So I got in touch with one of the assistant producers, or he was involved in the production of Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Who sourced the Lotus Esprit for the film Pretty Woman. And that's going to be a really good interview, which we're going to be as part of that Esprit article.
So did he not also supply the one that was in
Basic Instinct?
Basic Instinct, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to try and find who that was,
right.
Who sourced that, but no, I don't think it was him.
Because that's absolutely two iconic movies that both featured Esprits, which is extraordinary, really.
There was another one with a secret agent, a school kid who becomes a secret agent.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a few others, but I think in terms of like iconic movies that everybody remembers,
well, the actual Esprit in that was the best one. Actually, really good because it was like a James Bond Esprit. It was I can't remember. It must have been the one after the S3.
But in Pretty Woman, they did go to other manufacturers. But the manufacturers didn't want to be associated with a movie that was about basically a prostitute.
Yeah.
They said no. And Lotus were like, yeah, sure, we'll give you a car.
Bearing in mind the number of prostitutes that seen Ferraris in West London.
Seriously.
Ironic.
They kind of missed the trick there, really, didn't they? And Lotus were like, yeah, sure, we'll give you a car. And then, the rest is history, like they say.
Yeah,
But then Lotus, this is something that Lotus no longer knows how to do anymore, sadly. It just doesn't do it. But if you remember, even with the original Bond car, they were very clever about how they got that car into the movie. They didn't pitch it. They just literally parked it outside of the studio. You remember the story, right? The
Yeah.
guy took the car there. He parked it outside the studio. They took the badges off the car, so they wouldn't know what it was. And then he just sat in the cafe across the road and watched the crowds go bananas looking at this thing. And then, and after leaving it for a few hours, he literally just walks up to the car, unlocks it, gets in, drives off without a word. And then the studio says, "We've got to find out what that was."
I mean, what's Lotus do now? What are they making now? Is it Evira? Evira?
I mean, the Emira is the only sort of sports car, and then you've got what is it? The Avaya. They've got okay. You know what? They've got an electric saloon and they've got an electric SUV.
The Emira looks like what a Dino, Ferrari Dino would have been.
Yeah.
It's a lovely looking car. And we actually smuggled one into a Italian car day event as well.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. They have the big
Well,
electric.
we've had them at some of your events. We've had them doing donuts and stuff like that, and they're good. They look cool. They look pretty good.
I mean, you've got a big one, which is £3 million, big electric one, which I've never seen on the road. I've seen it only at shows. I've never seen it moving.
No, I've never seen it moving. That's the Avaya, isn't it? That's like a 1,500 horsepower electric car or something or other.
They need to build an Esprit.
They need to build an Esprit. But this is the thing. This is why the Encore, whatever you want to call it. This is why that car is so exciting, because they've done what Lotus should have done.
Right. Which other cars do you think should be redone?
What other cars should be redone? To be honest, I'm genuinely not one for doing that. But Esprit for me was a different case because, but if I look at, I don't know, you have to look at the pop culture icons and you go, what car was great in concept but wasn't actually that great? You take something like a Knight Rider, you take the 1982 Trans Am, which isn't fundamentally a bad car, but it was a bit underpowered, let's be honest. But if you could resto mod the hell out of a 1982 Trans Am, I think that would be pretty cool.
Do you know what I quite like the car I've been looking at lately, which I saw, and it just really was a DB6 convertible in green.
Yeah,
that looks beautiful, but £500,000.
So the DB5s that they used for the last movie, the one with Daniel Craig when he wrecks it and it goes into the bottom of the sea or whatever. Apparently those were built in E46 BMWs.
Really?
Yeah. So that was an Aston Martin body shell, but they were built on top of E46 M3s or just the E46 BMWs. So that's what they actually were. That's extraordinary. So the car that got shot up and did the donuts and all the rest of it was actually an E46 BMW.
I want to drive a DB5. I want to drive. Everyone tells me they're horrible to drive, but I want to drive one.
Yeah. So again, that would be a good contender for updating. Just keep the shape, and also people really have a go at kit cars. Like I know these people that they build this Ferrari 250 type cars that are based on BMW Z3s. And everybody poo-poos the idea, but I'm like, I kind of like the idea because at the end of the day, if it's just the shape that you adore, and with me that was the thing, it's the shape that I adore with the Esprit. I adore the shape, but you can't drive a 250 Ferrari every day. You can't because they're just too valuable and rare, even if you could afford one. But if you can build one on a BMW Z3, and every time you walk away from it, you go, yeah, what's wrong with that? Why not?
Okay. Well, what if you buy yourself a Ferrari 612? Right, the 4-seater.
Yeah.
Right. Get it. Take off the body. Replace the body with a Daytona.
Yeah.
A Ferrari.
Yeah. Why not? If it can fit, if you can make it work.
Because historically, if you look at the early Ferraris, the bodies were actually made by other companies.
Coachwork.
Coachwork. companies. Ferrari would supply them with a car.
The chassis and the engine. You basically would get a rolling chassis, an engine, steering, and gearbox. That's it. And then you take it to a coachwork company, and they would build the top of it.
Yeah, Vinali Touring would turn around and place it on top. That's the other thing
Well, to be honest, this is one of the things that I thought, and to an extent still do think, we would actually get back to. Because if you think about the current technology, which is EVs, sorry to drag the conversation back to EVs, but they're here to stay and they exist and they are going to be more and more available in the future. But EVs are basically built on what you call a skateboard platform. So it's basically, it's a flat platform with the batteries ensconced within that platform and the motors either within the wheels themselves or within the chassis itself. So it's completely flat. That's it. That's all you need. Which then means that literally you can put anything on it. You can put anybody on that. Anything you can create, you can put it on top.
What the Chinese should be doing is, if I was there, if they made me in charge of a Chinese EV company, I would turn around and say, right, let's get some designers in. Let's make beautiful looking cars.
Yeah.
Right? Let's make beautiful looking cars. You've got everything else. We've got everything else. It's all done, all working, chassis and everything. Let's make beautiful cars. Cars that would go into concourse. You know, I had a chat with a lady from Mercedes-Benz at Silverstone, and we test drove the new the AMG GT, and we're talking. And I said, well, it's a nice enough car, but it's not beautiful. And I said, you know, there's that. Oh God, it was. I can't remember the name of the car, but it was one at the Hampton Court Palace Concourse. There was I think it was an orange Mercedes, beautiful, you know, the doors coming up and everything. And I just said, why don't you make this
the classic, the C112, I think, concept car.
Yeah. Mercedes should be making things like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but you know, the thing is, when those cars were made at that period of time, there was much less legislation in terms of safety legislation. And the reason that car designers are so hampered today, the reason why EVs still look like ordinary cars, because I'm like, look, it's an EV. Why does it still need to look like, it doesn't need to look like an ordinary car? Because the traditional structure of a three-box structure of a car, engine, passenger cabin, boot space, is the requirement of how a car needs to be, because the engine needs to be there. But when you have a flat platform, you no longer need that space. So what they've resorted to doing is putting things in called front trunks, front boots as we would call them, fruits if you like, anyway. But the reality is you could build anything on there. You could build any design you want. But then the problem you have is that you come up against crash safety legislation, because you need that crumple zone and that pedestrian safety zone and all the rest of it. That's why you can't have pop-up lights anymore. This is where a company like Encore Design gets away with it, because they can build a new car and put pop-up lights, because it's not a brand new production car and it's not going through all of those, you know, the crash safety things.
We end up with things like the Tesla Cybertruck.
Yeah, I mean, look at that.
Have you seen one? It's not allowed to come into the UK.
Apparently. I mean, there are a few here, but apparently it's not.
Not on the road.
I saw it in Dubai. I saw it in Dubai when I was there. It was as hideous as you can imagine. Literally, I was like, oh, and it's vast. It is huge.
So other highlights, automotive highlights this year.
It's been quite tricky. I mean, in terms of cars, in terms of new cars, there hasn't been anything. In terms of old cars, I drove a Toyota 86, AE86. I hadn't driven one of those before. It was so much fun. It was as much as fun as you could expect it to be and hope for it to be. In terms of new cars, it's very hard to find anything. The only memorable thing that stands out in the whole year, it wasn't actually a new car that came out this year, but I had it for a few days, was the MG Cyberster. It's electric, but it was actually very quick. It was it wasn't visceral, it wasn't engaging, but it was reasonably entertaining to drive. But the best thing about it was that it looked good. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It looked good, it had theater, because it had the scissor doors and the roof and the design. So it turned heads, it was a talking point. You know, so in that sense, that was quite good. But in terms of all the other new cars out this year, not really that much. So the highlight drives really were the car the 325i that I sold earlier this year. Sadly, I still miss it. And then driving the AE86, which I thought was incredibly good fun.
So as a car journalist, do these companies, manufacturers, like call you and say, Shazad, would you like this car? Would you like that car? Is that what happens?
It varies. It depends. It depends on your hierarchy of journalism as well. But like, you know, when I was in Dubai, it was a different story. It's because I was an A-list journalist, if you like, over there, compared to Mr. Nobody over here. But with the manufacturers, it's give and take. Some of them will do that. Some of them you have to chase. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm quite tired of chasing. So I generally don't chase unless there's something that I'm really keen on that I think will be really interesting for my viewers or readers. Or if people say, look, we'd like you to review that car, then I'll try and see if I can get it. But otherwise, it's generally I'll see what's out there, what's available, and which manufacturers are willing to work with me. Which is amazing if you think about it, because I literally, sorry to interrupt you, but I literally just last week totaled up, and it took me by surprise. I totaled up my views across my platforms. just for 2025. So this was across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and browncarguy.com. And I totaled them up, and it was in excess of 8.3 million views
Wow.
in just the 1 year for one content creator. I mean, hang on, let me go back to the media bit. Hang on, here we go. Cheering, yeah, there you go. So, I have to say, I think that's not too bad for one content creator,
That's very good because I don't do content. Someone asked me I should do content, and I can't do videos. I don't want to do that kind of stuff. For me, I want to get into magazines purely because it's easier. Camera work is really. I've still got all my cameras, and I'm going to sell them off. But now I'd rather get into photography, do articles, and I like the idea of having magazines and books lying around, which I've done, which I can say, hey, look.
Well, you're doing a whole bunch of books which are coming out, which is quite exciting because that's the other big thing you're doing for next year. I've been looking back at some of my photos, and actually, I used to do a lot of photography. I realized I used to do a lot of photography in Dubai, a lot, and I've literally hardly do any now. Now I just use my phone, that's it. But in Dubai, I used to do a lot with setups, with looking for the right location, right time, right lighting. I used to do a lot, but now I'm not doing it. But I'm looking forward to seeing your books though next year.
But this is the thing, because I've been taking photographs for 20 years. A lot of it was filming, which I've still got, but I took loads of photographs, and I decided, I thought, let's. It was a lot of Ferrari photographs, and I thought, let's put it all together in a book. And I started doing it, and I found out it's actually a lot of photos, and you could see how I started really just like a crappy camera to a professional camera, so it's a whole gamut. But it's ended up as 3 books on that. I've got Brands Hatch books, 2 books of Brands Hatch. It's going to be available digitally for free if anybody wants to view it. So I've got those 9 books. Then I also do the books for the Concours of Elegance and the London Concours. So I'm doing the 2025 versions of those. Then I thought, hang on, I've got photographs going back years from earlier, before 2024. So I'm doing those. So the plan is, by January, I'll have 90% finished, 11 books.
Wow.
Back, ready. I'll sell them if I want to. If people want to buy them, they can
So
buy
I
them.
mean, this is
Available.
11 books.
The photo, no tech.
But still.
Each one's about 350, 360 pages.
That's substantial.
2.5 kilograms each. And I just thought, I'll just do those. And then once that's done, I will then just concentrate on Drivers Union magazine, which again will be digitally.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would say, because you put out 11 books, you're basically a book publisher.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm doing it.
Yeah. So you should then just make more car books, I guess.
No, this is easy because this was basically it's 20 years of work, just photographs. Then I might do special issues. I'm not sure. I might do one on McLaren where I've been do high-end quality photographs and interviews with people. But then the thing is, it'll distract me from the magazine.
Yeah. And
I think for Drivers Union as a club, we need a magazine, and I want to create an international.
The magazine will be quarterly, though, isn't it?
Well, I'm saying twice a year, probably 3 times a year.
Right.
I'm not setting it because what I really want to do is I want to talk about quality, and it's not actually a car club magazine. Because what I want to do is I want to talk to people who are specialists you don't know about. Find a hidden car. It could be a supercar, it might be a classic car. People, cover events.
So that's the other thing. You're sort of giving a little bit more emphasis to classics next year as well, aren't you?
Well, we're expanding. So what I've decided to do is to open up a classic and sports car section, so people can now join up as a supercar owner or a classic and sports car owner. And then from January, when the new website is built, it'll be international membership, so people can now join for free around the world. Because the new website will have a forum, a more intensive forum. It'll be bigger, it'll be better. But what I'm trying to do is turn Drivers into a worldwide brand. That if you're interested in these kind of cars, join up. If you want to create an event in, let's say, Chicago, well, yeah, come on a forum, create your event in Chicago. We'll help you whatever you need to do. It's building it up basically. But Drivers Union, in effect, will become a car club. At the moment, it's a car club with a little bit of media on the side, but it's going to become a media company with a car club on the side.
But also like a more expanded, because at the moment it's known as a supercar club. But what you're talking about is, well, I guess what you're talking about is the true meaning of drivers' union. Because then we're talking about drivers, aren't we?
I mean, the whole drivers' union is just morphing. Like I said, we're working with other car clubs. So, Lamborghini Club, we're working with them, and NSX and Maserati Club, and hopefully other clubs as well, top tier clubs. So it's not like a normal car club. I mean, our price as well, compared to others, we're a lot cheaper. Our membership starts at £99, 150. But I'm also introducing another supercar membership at £49, hopefully. Because there are members who are in Scotland who can't come attend our events. So what's the point of them paying full price to attend Brands Hatch?
But they still can be part of the club. Hello to Sarah Davies, because she just said, hi BCG, it was great to meet you at the NEC last month. Right back at you. Thank you very much. So in terms of when you say you're going to expand it to classics and sports cars, does that mean that people, because you had a very strict definition of what constituted a supercar, are you now opening it up to people that have, I don't know, a Supra?
No, it's effectively two clubs in one. So the supercars, the supercar owners still want to meet up their supercar events, and we get invited to events as a supercar club. For example, London Concours, we get invited as a supercar club. But what I'm going to do is I'll introduce a classic and sports car section. So the classic and sports car members won't necessarily be able to attend supercar events, but the supercar members can attend the classic and sports cars.
Right.
Because a supercar can be a classic car, but a classic car is not necessarily a supercar. It's a bit hard to. I have to do it with very much care. Be very careful how I do it. But what we're trying to do is be very inclusive, But that's actually the plan. So 2026, because it's 20 years now I've been doing this. So 2026 is actually going to be the biggest year for our club. And we're also going to do tours and trips as well abroad. And we have the Drivers Union Awards. And we have the Drivers Union Concours.
Well, there's quite a few things going on. You're also going to be doing the Brands Hatch stuff next year as well?
We're at Brands Hatch. Hopefully you'll be able to make it as well. So Brands Hatch, we're partners up with Brands Hatch. The only car club that's partners with Brands Hatch. So we'll be doing the GT racing, Brands Britannia, which is earlier in the year. I think it's in May this year, and the Festival Italia. So what we do is our members get free tickets to attend. We get hospitality area, which other clubs don't get. And we also do the demo displays where we get up to 20 cars doing displays, and which is hosted by yourself, which you do a fantastic job.
Thank you very much. It's good fun.
I think also this year the bat suit might come out for one. I hope it's not bad.
Well, between the bat suit and the Iron Man mask, it's going to be very confusing. With a lightsaber.
And like I said, we've also got Drivers Union Awards where owners now can vote for their favourite dealers. That's where we're the only organisation who does that as well. And also, I think next month, beginning next month, we'll be launching the best event of 2025, big fun.
So on that, because you asked me right at the beginning, and as we wind this up, you asked me right at the beginning, what was the best event? What was the best event for you in 2025?
It's always very hard for me to say that because I'm always working at these events. I really liked Hampton Court Palace.
Yeah.
Because I think if I wasn't working, it's a one day where I could just chill out, relax. The weather's usually really good. It's a beautiful location, and it's just a really, really nice place to be.
And you meet lots of people there as well.
I did enjoy the Ferrari Owners Club Concours this year, I have to say. Not so much because of Concours, because I met a lot of my old friends from the Ferrari world, which I found, and that was probably more personal. And it was a lovely event, lots of Ferraris. Sometimes it's nice to go to a place with just Ferraris, And there's lots of events. I'm trying to think of them actually off my head. But most of the events, I'm just.
That's the trouble, you're working, isn't it? Yeah. But this is the thing, as the guy that runs Drivers Union and stuff, you're running the events and you're running the cars. I mean, again, if I said to you, okay, what was your drive of the year? What was your drive of the year? When did you actually get to enjoy just the actual process of driving?
Haven't done it. That's the irony. I organize the drives, but if I go to an event, I'm going in a Cayenne. I can't tell you the last time this year, I did not have a good drive in a Ferrari.
Wow.
I can't tell you. That's the problem. I'm so busy working on it. It's like caviar.
Yeah.
You love caviar. You start working in a caviar factory. You have caviar all the time. You don't appreciate caviar.
Yeah, yeah. Not that I like it anyway, but there you go.
It's salty for me, but but yeah, I need.
You reminded me of what was the character in the Pierce Brosnan era movies when he has the Z8, and he goes, I might have missed out a crucial element here, and then it's caviar, and he goes and sees him. He sees the guy, the big guy that plays Hagrid. Sorry, Robbie Coltrane. Robbie Coltrane. Yeah, yeah. Because he makes caviar, doesn't he, in the movies? That's what his business is. That's his official business, behind all the other stuff that he's doing.
Might be making. There's talk of a new Bond film with him as an old Bond.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. I think that'd be quite cool.
Yeah,
that'd be quite cool. The one thing I won't like to see, and being, what is it, Amazon now that owns it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what they might do is like a young Bond. I'm like, no, guys, no.
Not I'm sexist. A female Bond either doesn't work.
No.
It's got to be James Bond. It's got to be someone you aspire to, someone that you want to dress like.
And also, like, I mean, again, people might be surprised if I say this, because there was all this talk of, like, it should be a black Bond or a brown Bond. But I'm like, no, it has to be a white guy, because it has to be an English white guy, because that's how the character was written. It has that aristocratic,
hang on. You open up a new can of worms.
I know. There's a lot of discussion on this. But to me, that's the character.
So you can't be black and English?
No, you can be black and English. I mean, you can't. Bond can't be that. Because you think about it. Bond is the sort of guy that walks into any place in the world and can get away with it. If I walk into any place in the world, I'm like, oh, is this guy who just walked in here? What does he think he is? I mean, it's like, literally, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Jamal Bond.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You get this, anywhere in the world, a white guy walks. Literally, the way the world is at the moment politically, and how the nature of understanding of the geopolitics of the color of our skins, unfortunately, affects the world. There is a presence that you get with that kind of person. If he walks in with the right kind of attitude, you go, okay, yeah. But for the rest of us, we wouldn't be able to get away with it. We really wouldn't.
I still think the best Bond that wasn't a Bond was Lewis Collins.
Lewis Collins?
Yeah, Professionals. Bodhi.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I think he would have made a really good...
No, I mean, at the end of the day, you can have other great characters. I mean, don't forget, I created a character, which I don't know if you remember, but I did a comic way back, and called the character Jamshed Khan, and Jamshed Khan was based on Bond. So if you read the original comic, it's a spoof of James Bond. That's basically what it is.
You actually drew it, or?
No, I had an artist friend. I had an artist drew it. I wrote it, and he drew it. And it's there. It's live. Maybe I'll add a link to the bottom of the description of this video. But it was a complete comic. It was we did it. I published it as a small press. So back in the day, you used to do small press, which basically means that I stayed in after hours at work and used the photocopier there to print these comics, stapled them. I took them to a small press convention, sold maybe 30 copies, and got a review in a small press comic magazine. They reviewed it, and they liked it.
So his lassi tea, was it shaken or stirred?
It was lassi.
Shaken? Shaken?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Yeah, it had an esprit in it.
Yeah, obviously.
And I'm going to take credit for something else, because I had a sequence in it. There's a chase sequence in the comic where he goes into the underground and he slides down, instead of like running down the escalators, he slides down the middle bit. Right? He slides all the way down the middle bit. And then Daniel Craig did that in one of the Bond movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, hang on, I did that first.
But you can't do it now, because if you go down an escalator, they have these little bumps there, don't they?
Yeah, I know, but even for the Daniel Craig version, they just removed that. It's fiction, man. Come on, they just removed. Yeah, in reality, you couldn't do it, but yeah.
You could do it in the old days.
You could do it in the old days, yeah.
I'm sure people tried.
So actually, maybe when I wrote the comic, you probably could do it, because that comic I think it was 90-something, 92, 93, something like that. I don't know.
Wow.
But that's when I wrote it.
Maybe we should get back into it.
Well, I did think, should I resurrect that character for a novel? I could do that.
Comes out of retirement, why not?
The return of Jamshed Khan. But there you go. So after I've just contradicted myself. So basically, I've just said why there shouldn't be a brown Bond, and then I've just said I actually created a brown Bond. So there you go. Anyway, on that bombshell, I think it's time to bid everybody happy Christmas, season's greetings, happy holidays, all the rest of it, and a wonderful new year, right?
Yeah, Happy New Year. Are we allowed to say Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas? I thought as Asian
You can
people.
say whatever the hell you want, dude. Um, Here we go.
Jingle bells on the rickshaw ride, cars simmering on the stove inside. Starry nights, lights all bright. Santa's rocking a quartet tonight. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Hi, hi. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh my, ladders in.
There you go. There's enough of that. With that, thanks very much.
Once a year.
I'll save that for next year now. But yeah, anyway, it's great working with you all year, and I'm looking forward to see what we do next year as well.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Take care, and catch you all soon. Right, let me stop.